Plant FAQs, Hoya Memoria. What is Hoya Memoria? Hi everyone, Furbu here. Today, we're diving into the world of the enchanting Hoya Memoria, a captivating plant that offers both stunning visuals and relative ease of care. Whether you're a seasoned plant parent or a curious newcomer, this guide will equip you with all the knowledge you need to cultivate a thriving Hoya Memoria. See more 566 species in genus Hoya at monsteraholic.com. Light requirements. Finding the sweet spot. Hoyas, in general, are known for their adaptability when it comes to light. The Hoya Memoria is no exception. It flourishes in medium to bright indirect light. Imagine a spot in your home that receives gentle, filtered sunlight for a good portion of the day. This could be a room with an east-facing window or a spot further back from a south-facing window where the harsh midday sun is diffused. Direct sunlight, especially during the peak hours, can be detrimental to your Hoya Memoria. The leaves might develop scorch marks, appearing bleached or crispy. Conversely, very low light can lead to stunted growth and a lack of blooms. The key is to find that sweet spot, bright, indirect light for a happy and blooming Hoya Memoria. Tip: keep an eye on your plant. If the leaves start to stretch excessively or become pale, it's a sign it needs more light. Conversely, if the leaves curl or turn brown, it's getting too much direct sun. Watering. Finding the balance. Knowing when to water your Hoya Memoria is crucial. Thankfully, these plants are quite forgiving. They prefer their soil to dry out completely between waterings. A good rule of thumb is to stick your finger into the potting mix. If the top inch feels dry, it's watering time. Overwatering is a major culprit for root rot, so err on the side of underwatering. Here's a helpful trick. Hoyas have succulent-like leaves that can store water. When thirsty, the leaves will soften slightly. This subtle change is a natural indicator that your plant needs a drink. Pro tip: avoid watering on a schedule. Instead, focus on the plant's specific needs based on the potting mix, pot size, and environmental conditions. Soil, the foundation for success. Hoyas, including the Memoria, thrive in a well-draining potting mix. This allows excess water to escape freely, preventing root rot. A good option is a succulent or cactus mix amended with perlite or orchid bark for added drainage. You can also create your own mix using equal parts potting soil, perlite, and orchid bark. Comparison: while Hoyas enjoy well-draining soil, they differ from some succulents that require very gritty mixes. A standard succulent mix might be sufficient, but adding some orchid bark for extra drainage is always a safe bet. Fertilizing, a light touch. Hoyas are not heavy feeders. During the growing season, spring and summer, you can fertilize your Hoya Memoria with a diluted liquid fertilizer once a month. A balanced fertilizer formulated for houseplants works well. However, during the fall and winter, when growth slows down, fertilizing is not necessary. Remember, less is always more when it comes to fertilizing Hoyas. Over-fertilization can damage the roots and hinder growth. Common pests and diseases. Thankfully, Hoyas are relatively pest and disease resistant. However, they can be susceptible to mealybugs and scale. These sap-sucking insects can be controlled by wiping them off with a cotton swab dipped in rubbing alcohol. Neem oil spray is another effective option. For diseases, root rot is the primary concern. This arises from overwatering. Ensure proper drainage and adjust your watering habits if you suspect root rot. Propagation, sharing the joy. Hoyas are known for their ease of propagation. Stem cuttings are the most common method. Here's a simplified guide. Select a healthy stem with a few nodes, leaf junctions. Cut the stem just below a node with a sharp, sterile knife or pruners. Remove the lower leaves, leaving a few nodes exposed. Dip the cut end in rooting hormone, optional but can promote faster root growth. Plant the cutting in a pot with a well-draining mix, keeping the soil slightly moist. Place the pot in a warm location with indirect light. Be patient. Rooting can take several weeks. Comparison: propagating Hoyas is similar to propagating other vining plants like pothos. However, Hoyas might take slightly longer to root due to their thicker stems. Hoya Memoria versus Gracilis. Hoya gracilis is a relatively recent addition to the market and is not commonly encountered. The leaves of this Hoya variety display an ovate to lance-shaped form and possess a green hue adorned with white speckles. On occasion, it produces scented pinkish-red flowers. To cultivate this plant successfully, Provide it with bright, indirect light, and maintain a humid environment, both of which contribute to its optimal growth. Hoya memoria versus pubiculax. Hoya memoria, known for its smaller leaves, stands apart from its counterparts. Its flowers, similar to those of Hoya pubiculax, are distinguished by their purple coloration. Notably, the petals of Hoya memoria's flowers are adorned with delicate light pink borders, adding to the distinctiveness of this plant. Hoya memoria versus gracilis. Both my Hoya memoria and gracilis are beautiful trailing plants, but they each have their own unique charm. The memoria's leaves are like little emeralds, speckled with lighter green and boasting a high-gloss shine. They feel cool and smooth to the touch, and the plant itself seems to cascade more dramatically than my gracilis. Hoya gracilis, on the other hand, feels more delicate. Its leaves are a softer, matte green and have a slightly wavy texture. It grows in a bushier fashion than the memoria, and while it trails eventually, it tends to stay a bit fuller near the pot. In terms of blooms, I find the memoria's fuzzy star-shaped flowers to have a sweeter fragrance, but both produce lovely clusters that add a pop of color when they bloom. Conclusion: the allure of Hoya memoria. The Hoya memoria is a captivating addition to any plant collection. Its delicate foliage and fragrant blooms offer a touch of elegance to your indoor space. With its adaptability to various light conditions and relatively low maintenance needs, this Hoya is a perfect choice for both seasoned plant enthusiasts and curious beginners. With a little understanding of its basic needs and some attentive care, you can cultivate a thriving Hoya memoria that will reward you with stunning blooms and cascading foliage for years to come. So, why not embrace the charm of this unique plant and add a touch of botanical magic to your home?